Hi everyone, on this week's So Q&A we have the fantastic
Ian Workman from Barclays.
Brilliant. I'm Rosie Guinday and I'm the founder of Miss Macaroon. We are a community interest company who reinvest 100% of our profits in providing training and jobs for long-term unemployed young people. So Ian, why is that relevant to you at the moment?
So it's really relevant. So my day job is working with SMEs, small businesses across the UK. So we have 1,000 relationship managers whose purpose there is to support businesses. And increasingly what we're realising is that social business, and by that I mean businesses that have social purpose and social cause, are becoming a really important part of the UK economy. And for us, with the expertise and knowledge that we have, if we can help a social business to grow, then actually that has a ripple effect in terms of the social impact we can have, and that's how we're looking to support them.
Yeah, absolutely. So social businesses contribute £60 billion to the UK economy, and as a sector we employ 5% of the workforce.
Yep.
But as well as creating all of that employment, we also have the added benefits of either helping the environment or older people to kind of maintain their connection with the community, or helping young parents or people with disabilities. So we've got this extra level of additional benefit for society. So it really helps for businesses like ours to grow, and thinking about our growth journey, it's absolutely been down to a lot of the support that we've had in terms of business courses, accelerators, board members and special advisors. So it's great to see that you're providing that support.
Yeah, and absolutely. And when you look at social businesses, they're much more diverse than standard businesses. So much more representative of the communities in which we work. So for example, you have more female entrepreneurs like yourself that work as a social business. Yeah. But also then if you think in terms of the customer base, and you think about the reach of people that they engage with, so like for you working with young people, actually far wider than a traditional business. And the other thing is interesting, social businesses are far more successful than a traditional business. Yeah. So for example, in a startup business sector, about a third of businesses will fail in the first 3 years. That's typically what you see for a variety of reasons. Social businesses are 3 times more likely to be successful in that key first 3 years. And there's a couple of reasons for that, but the primary reason is social businesses have a clear purpose. So you'll have known when you set up your business, it wasn't just about the macaroons, it was about actually the social purpose, and that drove you. And that's what we find a lot of social businesses, because they have that purpose in their heart. That drives them further. The second thing that we also find is that if you're a social business, you get a lot more support. So if people like myself, who are professionals, are much more likely to come and support you and actually work with you it's in those early stages, because they share that passion and they want to help you on that growth journey. And so it's really exciting, and I think as the UK economy evolves, we're going to see a lot more in terms of social businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that startup phase, those first 3 years are intensely difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if it's your first business or social business, it can be really isolating. You're totally pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. You're failing on a daily basis, which it's positive in its own way, but it's intensely challenging. So I think if you have something outside of your own monetary gain driving you to actually keep succeeding on a daily basis, then it really does help you to kind of stick to it, because you want to keep going.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the analysis we've done. So we've done some research with social businesses and what makes a social business successful compared to a standard business, and it is that social purpose rather than just a monetary. So a lot of businesses will set up for monetary reasons. It could be that actually you don't want to work as an employee anymore, but you need to earn a living there before you set up as a business. And clearly social businesses need to earn a living out of it, but the drive is actually, I want to support this social cause. And we work with varieties of all different sizes. And we see that actually with social businesses. You've got very small community-based social businesses that want to do something very specific in the local community, right the way through to your sort of business and bigger, where actually they want to have far wider reach across the UK and beyond, and take it to the next level as well.
Yeah, and I think there's a whole host of social enterprises that have come about in the last 10 or so years that are working within that premium space.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And when you create premium services and products, I think that business support is even more important.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that you are sustainable and you're dealing with your customers at that really kind of high level. And then you can put your profits back into your social impact.
Absolutely, and the crux when you're in that situation is how do you scale up? And that's one of the things that we're working through at the moment. So I've got 1,000 managers across the UK that's job is to help support businesses, but we know with any business the trick is going from that sort of startup phase, when actually it's probably you and just a couple of people, to suddenly being an employer, having all the issues that go with that, trying to scale up and break through that next barrier. And that's really, really tricky. There's a lot of benefits to it. So as an employer, we know, for example, millennials are really attracted to working with businesses that have got social purpose.
Yeah.
It makes you a really attractive proposition to attract talent, which again will help the business grow. It's a really exciting sector to be in at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can all see what's happening to the environment and how society's changed over the last 10 years. And young people have really borne the brunt of that, so they want to feel empowered and feel like they can make a difference and join businesses that are doing that. So we've got some fantastic young talent. We're a very, very small team. We're the oldest at 35.
You're making me feel old now, come on.
And we've got amazingly talented people that are really, really keyed into what we do. We had a cohort that are actually finishing next week. Over Christmas, they were just so incredibly lovely. One of the trainees made us all a book with a little page.
Wow.
Our marketing executive, the business development executive, our program leader, they all got a really personal message of thanks and dedicating some of their progress to the support that they've received. And because we're a small business, then every single person does actually get involved with the trainees and support the trainees. Everyone's DBS checked and trained up on mental health issues and how to deal with those. And I think that really pulls people into the organisation.
But for that person, that experience that you've given them will live them with them forever. You've got them at a critical time in their life when they're still developing, they're still thinking about what opportunities they want to explore, and they'll always revisit that experience they've had with you. And I think that's really important. And we see again that a lot with social businesses. Where it can be a whole variety of people. It could be somebody who's had a drug problem. It could be somebody who's been homeless. It could be somebody that's been in prison. All these issues, there's something that they're looking for help with, and when you can just tap into that in a very small way, the difference that person's exponential. And it really makes a difference to their lives. But at the same time, you're creating wealth for the UK economy. So it isn't just, and this is the important thing social business forget sometimes, it's not just about what you're doing with the cohort that you're looking after. As a business person, assuming you make a profit, you are contributing to the UK economy. So you're not just contributing to the immediate people that you're working with. Actually, you're actually driving wealth and GDP, etc. And you mentioned all that 60 billion. That's a lot of money.
It is.
That's hospitals, that's schools. That is a big difference in the UK economy.
Absolutely. So what are Barclays doing at the moment and what are your future plans?
So it's a really time. Today I've got 50 colleagues here in Birmingham who are being taught about social businesses. And I say that with a smile, but it's really interesting talking to them about what the difference between a sort of a traditional SME that we'd work with and a social business. And some of that is behavioural, so some of the characteristics that social business entrepreneurs have, but also talking to some of the ways they might perhaps generate cash and generate profit is different. So for example, some social businesses will be profitable, but their social purpose will be to donate some of that profit to the social cause, rather than a traditional SME where we'd expect them to retain the profit. Now that challenges our thinking, for example, when it comes to lending. We've got to look at it differently. So that's what we're putting through the training through, because I'm really passionate about this, in that the easy thing for me to do as a big, large corporate would be put some money towards it and say, tick, I've done my CSR responsibility. Actually, I'm in a very fortunate position to have lots of really enthusiastic colleagues across the UK that are experts in growing businesses. If I can train them in the right way, get them out into the marketplace, get them across towns and cities across the UK, that's really going to add value, far more value than me throwing some money at some awards dinner, for example. So I'm really excited about it. We're going to be launching in May, so this is the first start of it in terms of building our colleagues' knowledge and experience. So actually when we do launch the proposition formally, colleagues actually know what they're talking about. Because the last thing I want is a social business coming and saying, yeah, you've talked all about this, what does it mean? And our colleagues can't articulate it. So it's really exciting for us at the moment. I'm really, really excited about it.
Fantastic, it sounds amazing. So is this one-to-one support, or is it a programme?
So it's a combination. So you'll have your traditional business manager support that you know all businesses would get with us. On top of that, we've got a mentoring scheme. So for example, if you want to join us on our mentoring schemes, we run them 4 or 5 times during the year in different parts of the country. But what we do there is we bring a social business in and they sign up. And of course, being a big corporate, we've got people who've got sales skills, marketing skills, HR skills, legal skills. And we bring a range of colleagues to work with that social business. And you can imagine, so somebody from myself, I've worked with businesses for 25 years. We'll have somebody from legal that's done 20 years with businesses. They can then suddenly support the social business. That's not suitable for everybody. So we're also going to launch an online training portal. So if people just want to access advice and just not sure where to go, then they can go onto the online portal and ask for help, etc.
I think social investment is absolutely key, and that market building, especially at this time where we've got some really, really big social investors that do a fantastic job. And we're starting to get more individuals working in a consortium and working through different organisations, but actually, you know, having high net worth individuals investing directly into social enterprises, I think is a great way to work.
I agree. I think there's a great opportunity there, because if you look at a high proportion of high net worth individuals, they are successful business people in their own right.
Absolutely.
So they've earned their wealth through setting up and developing businesses and eventually selling on. So of course, not only do they have the wealth, which is useful, they have the knowledge and the experience and the contacts. You know, it's almost like a Dragon's Den moment where you want that person not just for their money, but because you think they can direct me in this way and open up doors. You know, if you want to get into Asda, you know, how do you get in there? They can open doors to get you in there in the first place.
Absolutely, but you know, also it's a great way for them to have a real connection with what their money is doing. I mean, you've come to the office this morning, and we have our new cohort on their second day, still completing some enrolment forms, doing English diagnostics to complete their functional maths and English qualifications. You know, learning about our trainees and their complex issues. I think, you know, for investors, excuse me, they can see that their money is really making an impact, and it's the same for our board members and for our special advisors. They really feel that connection with our trainees. You know, maybe see them at this point first week and then see them at 10 weeks later, and they can really see how much of an impact the course is making, but also their support, their advice, their guidance and their investment is.
And that's what I love about the programme that you do, because there's some real practical skills that they will take away, but it's focusing on some of those key skills, like the English you're talking about, which actually employers will look for. You know, and that's sometimes the barrier when you go into an interview situation or even an application stage. And I think, you know, just giving them the confidence. And what really impressed me today, I was sitting in listening in earlier on, was just some of the enthusiasm they've got. You know, they really want to do this. You know, thinking this is great, because that's the starting point. You get the enthusiasm, actually you can just build on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we've got a fantastic cohort.
Very lucky.
So when it comes to May, how do social enterprises get involved in this amazing support that you're providing?
So we're going to be doing a launch in May, as I said. So we'll put my Twitter feed on the post. So get in touch with us. We'll update that. It'll be a free attendance if social businesses want to come along. We're also going to be looking for some social businesses that want to come and exhibit on the day. Again, no charge for that. But if you think you want to get your pitch there, then obviously we're more than welcome to do that, because it's so exciting. And we're hoping to get a lot of interest. The big thing for me is I was very keen to offer practical support to social businesses, as I say, and actually it's about how do we help you grow. So I would say if you're looking to grow, if you want to scale up your business, then come and talk to us.
Fantastic, and I think that support around those key points is just invaluable. You know, when you do set your sights on that growth, there's just so much flux, and the transition can sometimes be quite difficult. So as long as you have that really strong network of supporters and advisors.
Because it can be quite lonely. You know, when you're running a business, it can be quite lonely.
Absolutely.
And actually sharing those experiences and somebody else saying, it's fine, it will be fine, this is normal.
Yeah.
Just saying that can actually make a big difference.
Yeah.
So we're really excited to it. We haven't cracked it yet, so again, you can also find me on LinkedIn, by the way. I regularly post on there. Any ideas would be great, because we're not an expert in this by all means.
Amazing. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Really enjoyed it.
We will continue posting probably in a couple of months just to talk about the launch and how you as social entrepreneurs and aspiring social entrepreneurs can get involved.
Brilliant.
Great.
Thank you, that was good.
Fab. Yeah, no, it just